You're now listening to Sound Talent Media. Check out more shows at soundtalentmedia.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Matt Migaki, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians. We talk all about their lives and music while sharing killer craft beers. If you've ever wanted to sneak backstage and share a beer with one of your favorite musicians, well, Vox and Hops is the podcast for you. This week on the podcast, I dropped a killer episode with Johannes Ekström of Avatar. There is this episode and over 440 other ones to help you enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. So what are you waiting for? It's time to become a Vox and Hops head. Cheers!
All right, folks, welcome to part 2 of the New York City Tone Mob episodes. This was both of these next clips were recorded at Fear the Riff there in Brooklyn. So it's a little noisy. It's a little condensed outside of the normal kind of thing that we do. But hey, why not mix it up once in a while, right? So yeah, these were recorded in the parking lot of the expo at Fear the Riff. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, kind of an interesting little experiment, I guess we would call it. But I should also let you know that this is... I've lost my powers of speech, apparently. This episode is sponsored by Sinusoid. Sinusoid custom guitar cables. You know that Andy and Anthony and all the guys over there, they work really hard to bring you the best cables in the business with the best customer service, and they're guaranteed for 100 years. So why not give Sinusoid a try? They support the show, they're members of the community, and I can't say enough good about that company or the people that work for it or the products they make. So check them out at sinusoid.com and, show them a little love. Okay, on with the first clip, which I'll be talking to Tony Schreiber from Pedal Genie. We kind of describe how all that went down and, you see, here it is. All right, hey guys, we're outside the Fear the Riff Expo again. I'm here with Tony Schreiber of Pedal Genie. For whatever reason, him and I have been designated the what are we calling it?
We're the critics, bro.
We're the critics? I'm the critic. I've never been a critic before. This is news. I usually say forget what the critics say, but in this case, I guess we're gonna pick the winner. But we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna talk about the show. We're gonna talk a little bit about Pedal Genie and. Since these are condensed podcasts that we're doing, just kind of give us a background of your musical background. And I should say we are crouched behind yet again the Jeep Compass in the most professional recording environment that you could possibly imagine.
Is an interesting interview. Yeah.
My listeners will tell you I'm the epitome of professionalism at all times. So this is very par for the course. So Tony, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself and. What you're doing and how it led to Pedal Genie, you can go into as much detail as you want.
All right. I kind of had, a roundabout way into where I am. In my teens, I was a keyboard player. Mm-hmm. I like samplers and synthesizers and MIDI and anything like that.
Right.
That was my life for a long time. I kind of moved away from music and got into computer programming and the internet. I worked for an ISP, did development and things like that. That all led to me working for somebody who was opening a music store. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit I'm skipping, but to condense a little bit. Yeah. So Shep, who owns the music store, is one of my partners in Pedal Genie, and we were kicking around ideas on what to rent. Shep was looking at all the guitars on the wall in the store, going kind of fretting that they're sitting there not being used. It's a lament I think a lot of store owners have.
Of course.
There's all this inventory and it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Guitars, obviously, though, aren't really the best thing to kind of ship around repeatedly.
Of course not.
And at the same time, we were starting to build a selection of pedals because we were trying to be one of the biggest sellers in South Florida, where we're located, of boutique pedals and different things. Even to this day, we're still one of the only Strymon dealers in Florida.
Wow. Okay.
So those things kind of came together and was like, well, why don't we rent pedals? We can buy more pedals, we can get more than anybody, and we can rent them and we'll do it like a subscription, which nobody had done yet.
Right.
So a traditional pedal rental would cost you $20, $30 a week. We're like, well, we can probably do close to that for a month and get them to keep coming back and trying pedals. So we launched Pedal Genie in early 2014 at South by Southwest.
Sounds about right when I seen you. Okay. That sounds right.
Well, I got this tattoo there when I was in Austin.
There you go.
To commemorate my commitment to Pedal Genie.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean, not that people can see it, but it's the tattoo is of I call it a cable snake. It's
Gotcha.
Like a little coiled
Yep.
cable that looks like a snake. It's actually the same tattoo that's on the Genie logo.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's kind of a little subtle meta thing that I kind of like.
Hey,
you know.
I dig it.
So after launching Pedal Genie, I was honestly a little ignorant of pedals. I mean, I knew what they were, what they did, whatever, but I didn't yet really understand the intricacies and the differences and the subtleties thereof. So that was like a crash course. You know, now, 2,000 pedals later, I can pretty much tell you everything you might want to know.
Right.
And in the process, became a guitar player, but then a bass player.
Oh, okay. So you transformed. Did you ever use pedals on keys just because that's where you started?
No, because that was like an old me like 20 years ago on keyboards. You know? I mean, I still have a couple things now, but I hadn't really started to do that. But I probably have a larger bass pedal board than most people would well, maybe not. They wouldn't expect of me specifically, but of any bass player.
Your average bass player, right?
Yeah, I do feel a little self-conscious rolling in somewhere with my big-ass pedal board. Go, oh, that's the bass player.
This guy really likes his tone.
Yeah, but, you know, I need to have a little playground. You know, I need to have, I need to learn my own things and what I like.
I've seen that before. I wish I could remember where. It was on one of the gear forums, probably 2013. And it's still to this day, I wish I would have saved the photo, one of the most impressive boards I've ever seen from just the selection of stuff the guy had, but the cleanliness and the tightness of the setup was insane. Like, and it was huge. It was, of course, I love huge boards, so, you know, whatever. But it was, to this day, and like, I still joke about it with someone like, dude, best board I ever seen was a bass player's board. It was killer.
The whole, you know, all the things in my background, technical nature, and kind of just the way I am and detail-oriented, whatever. I love building boards. I love organizing, you know, and I'll bring a pedal home and go, oh no, I have to rearrange my pedal board today.
Shoot.
Pull off all the cables, pull everything out, just start over from scratch again. And that's just kind of cathartic, I guess.
Yeah. I'm kind of weird. Some people know this. I haven't had a regular board setup until recently. I had this mini board and my challenge was to cram as much on it as I possibly could, but until then I hadn't had a normal board setup for a long time. Every band practice I just like go to my obsessive collection of pedals and be like, I want this and this, throw it all in a box. Take it to practice. Be like, just a second, guys. Be here for 30 minutes while
that's exactly why you build a board, right?
I know.
So you don't have to do that.
Yeah, but then but if I built a board, then it would be the same. Like, I'd have to tear it apart. I don't like to commit that much, but no, it's going that way. I'll have a legit board here. I keep saying this, but I'll have one pretty soon.
Awesome.
I'm starting to narrow down to like, okay, I can only gig or play or whatever with these 14 pedals. so bad.
Well, I'm onto a second board now.
Okay.
But this isn't necessarily a playing board. I have to make an entire like vanity pedal board.
Of course.
We're doing a lot of custom pedals now. You know, custom colors from certain manufacturers or exclusive things like that. So I kind of want to have one of everything of those that we're doing on a board.
Of course.
Even if I'm not playing it. My favorite is we have the Origin Cali 76 Compact Deluxe. We have it in a purple and a blue with the blue aluminum knobs or the purple.
I love it.
It's amazing looking, and I just want to have one because it's amazing looking.
Yeah. How addictive are they? Like, especially like I come from a guitar player background, and so naturally pedals kind of entered the picture. Not super early, but relatively early. You come from playing the keys and then kind of translating into guitar and bass. Like, are they really as addicting as they seem? Like when you come from an outside, it's just like
yeah, the choices you have are unlimited.
Yeah.
Especially
now.
You have 2,000 choices without, but there's so many brands we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
We're adding more all the time, but it's what's the name for a task like you do but never actually gets done? It's like a Greek tragedy thing. I don't know.
I think it's called insanity, but
well, it's kind of like that. We'll never have them all, but we're trying.
Yeah, we give it the best shot you can. Yeah, of course. That's fantastic. So how does since we're talking about your company and talking about things real quick, since we are on a little bit limited time here, like
right.
How does Pedal Genie operate, and maybe how is it different than maybe some of the other services out there, and just give the lay of the land, so to speak.
The key difference is the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying a subscription per month that gives you access to our library of 2,000 plus pedals. You build a wish list. The wish list is really important for us because that wish list, that all that aggregate demand from all of our members on all of their wish list helps us know what to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 2,000 pedals, there are going to be a few where we might not have any copies because nobody's ever wanted one of those.
Right.
But then there are other pedals where we have 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 copies of something.
Mm-hmm.
Because the demand is so high.
Right.
So you build a wish list. We send you a pedal from that list. If you like it, you can buy it at a discount.
Mm-hmm.
We try to be really favorable with our discounts because if we put that pedal in your hand, it's great to just let you keep it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like it, you're like, that's the worst pedal ever. Or even if you just don't like it at all. Or it wasn't quite right. I think I want to try something else. Send it back. We send you, you've got return packaging and label already in your thing. You put it back in the package, send it back, and we send you something else from your wish list.
There you go.
And you repeat.
Rinse and repeat.
Until you've filled your pedal board or you've found that one missing fuzz or that particular reverb you were after, and then you're done. There's no minimum monthly commitment or anything like that.
Okay, cool.
And we have 2 specials right now for the show. If you start a standard subscription, which is $39.95 a month, that includes all shipping. If you start a standard subscription, anytime you buy a pedal during the course of your subscription, you get the next month for free.
Okay, cool.
So you could get all year free if you wanted, if you bought a pedal every month. And then we also have another offer where our Flex subscription, which is $20 a month, but doesn't include the cost of shipping. You pay $14 per shipment.
Mm-hmm.
That's specifically for people who want to keep pedals for longer.
Got it.
That way you're not paying $40 a month and not turning it over.
Mm-hmm.
You're just paying $20 because maybe you want to spend a month or 2 or 3 with it. So our other offer is buy any used pedal from us right now and get a free month of Flex.
Cool. Right on. Well, that's the brief and condensed version. Normally we try to do these in hour slots, but as I said, we're crouched behind a Jeep Compass, so we'll probably better get back to the show. But before we do, I should ask you the classic Tone Mob question, which is, Tony, what kind of pizza do you like?
Meat lovers?
Meat lovers,
Sausage, bacon, ham, whatever. As much meat as possible.
Bacon. Any particular crust, style, location, blah, blah, blah.
I like a thin, crispy crust. I've got 2 weird things that happen. Depends on what kind of phase I'm in. One is I like to take the end of the crust and dip it in soda.
Oh. Like a Coke? Like Coke?
Yeah, like Coke specifically. When I was younger, my dad used to do that with beer.
Now that I'm like,
but I was younger at the time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to dunk in my soda, and if it's the soda's right and the crust has that kind of
the right texture,
spongy, not soft, but that kind of open foam looking kind of crust.
Right.
The soda just gets in there. It's delicious. But then the other time I eat, I don't eat the crust at all. I just scrape all the toppings off and eat all the meat and cheese.
I've been there myself. There's a particular place that I've had to eat pizza. It sounds weird to say this because I love pizza so much, but I've had to eat pizza from this one place because of various circumstances, and I'm like, this crust it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, I'd rather put it on like a piece of like white bread than this crust. Yeah. So I just take a fork and just shave it off. Like, the pepperoni's never bad. Like, come on, let's get the pepperoni and cheese. But yeah, I've had that experience. I try to forget about it, but had it more than I'd like to. But I can vouch for the pile of pizza sauce, meat, and cheese. It's a good meal. But, well, I'll let you get back to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to talk, and we'll try to narrow down this Critics' Choice thing that we've been tasked with. All right. Take care. Thanks. So there you go. I mean, that's kind of an interesting company that we've all kind of discussed before, and now you know a little more behind-the-scenes info, so to speak. So this next clip, I actually talk with somebody I definitely got to get on for a longer form interview, but Florian Schneider, he is an active member of the community. He's, as you will hear, currently building me a guitar that I'm super excited about. He runs Millimetric Instruments, and we have a little discussion about that, and he has a very cool design perspective. If you guys haven't checked out his work, I highly suggest you do so. But I also want to take this brief moment to remind you that this episode is also brought to you by Adventure Audio. You know Adventure Audio, you know Christian. We got something dropping on the 27th, as I've mentioned and hinted at here and there. October 27th. Make sure you're signed up for the Tone Mob email list. We're going to be plugging something limited and extremely special and extremely cool. I'm very, very excited about. This has been a little bit more of an ambitious project than some in the past, and I'm really, really excited how it turned out, and want you guys to see that. So, yep, Adventure Audio. You can check them out at adventurepedals.com. While you're there, make sure you get on his email list as well. He sneaks all kinds of goodies on there that actually people never see often, because the email subscribers snatch them up before it goes on social or anything. So, check them out, adventurepedals.com. And make sure you're subscribed to both our email lists for all the goods. All right, without further ado, here is the episode with Florian Schneider of Millimetric Instruments. All right, everybody, we're here again. This time we're not crouched behind the Compass. What kind of vehicle are we behind?
CRV, I think.
Yeah, we got a Honda CRV that we're behind outside Fear the Riff, trying to recover from the noise and the wonderful craziness that we've been experiencing. I'm here with Florian Schneider. We've been talking about his guitars. He's building Millimetric instruments, guitars.
Yeah, instruments.
Instruments. You like instruments? Okay.
Yeah, I like instruments because I not only make guitars. Well, right now I only make bass and guitars, but I also make like stands, pedalboards, but I don't make them right now because I'm swamped in guitar orders, which is a good problem.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for mine. Just super stoked on it.
Super soon.
Oh man. We'll not talk about that too much.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend that I don't have a guitar coming and everything's fine. But we were just talking off air, because I've seen your name both ways. And that's kind of interesting. I know that has nothing to do with guitars, but it's still kind of interesting, even though we're trying to do these kind of condensed and short and sweet out in the parking lot. So talk about the two names you use and why currently in the gear community.
Schneider is kind of my stage name, so
I found him. We got some guys. We're out here recording a podcast and two guys show up. Hold on, guys. We'll pause this real quick.
I can go back and I'll direct things.
Okay, and we're back. We had to get some unofficial Tone Mob business out of the way real quick. This is what happens when you record in a parking lot.
Yeah,
because I'm a super pro, as we've discussed multiple times today. So Schneider, your stage name, sort of.
It's kind of a stage name because I didn't want you to use my real name, which is Bouillou, which might sound weird for you guys.
Us uncultured Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I wanted to use Schneider because it sounded better and it's more related to what I was doing before, which was graffiti and art in general, like painting.
Right.
So I started using that when I was doing that, and when I started doing guitars, I kept it because I think it was funny. That reminded also of the guy from Kraftwerk. So it's kind of funny. I get some people mentioning that.
Right.
Yeah, here and there. So it's kind of funny.
Nice.
That's why I kept it.
Cool. I dig it. So your guitars, obviously, and I know this is very intentional because they're completely different than anything else out there, where do you get inspiration from? Because they're modern looking, but not so polarizing as some other ones that are trying to do the same thing. And it just kind of rubs us guys who are more vintage fans the wrong way, like myself. I'm like, look, yours, these look sick,
Yeah, well, there's a rule I try to apply all the time when I design a guitar, is that I try to say to myself, it has to look different, but it has to look like a guitar,
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at some 80s guitars or weird headless stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's new, but it doesn't look like a guitar, it looks like a total other thing.
Yeah.
So I always try to design stuff with keeping in mind that it has to look like a guitar. It has to respect some of the codes of the body shape and of the pick guards and of the controls, but at the same time trying to, my headstock, for example, is pretty much like an old Martin headstock. If you do just the outline, it will be really close to a Martin headstock.
Right.
So, and I got other influence. For the first guitar that I ever built was Obstructure. I don't know if you're aware of those.
I don't think so.
It's all aluminum guitars. It's a collective of designers, and they do guitars, but also some small tools, and they're really designers, architects, and stuff like that. So and they designed the guitar about around 13-12 years ago, and I came across that because one of the guys was playing in a band called New Brutalism, which was highly influenced by Steve Albini and Shellac, which I'm a big nerd when it comes to that guy and that kind of band and that kind.
So we should talk about harmonic percolators for a little while then.
Funnily enough, I'm not really into harmonic percolator. I'm really into the other thing that he uses, which is the Intersound IVP, which is his preamp, and the Fender basements.
Right.
Percolator is a really nice fuzz, but to me that's not the part of the sound that I like from Steve Albini.
Right.
I like the bright, scorching sound, and the percolator is more the parts where he uses all the crazy feedback kind of stuff,
which is what I think of when I think of that.
Well,
stuff.
yeah, and it's a good part of that, but it's not what I'm firstly attracted to.
Right.
But yeah, I have a few percolators. So, yeah.
So not to distract from that.
I just picked up the Dude Incredible from.
I was just going to ask from John from Electronic.
Yeah, because I had some transistors laying around from when I was trying to do a percolator clone, and I had some spare transistors, so we do some kind of a partial trade.
Right.
And I got the new pedal, and I'm excited to try it.
You should be. I just tried it earlier today. It's
it seems. I tried it, but it's really hard to hear anything in that venue. So
yeah, it's a challenge. Being it's great for packing people in, but it's a little tough on the acoustic side of it. But that's kind of how.
NAMM, but even louder. I never been to NAMM, but
it's. I don't know if it's loud. It's not necessarily louder. My ears aren't ringing like they are after NAMM.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just the wash. I think it's just the wash.
Yeah,
that gets overwhelming. But I think it's just the nature of the venue. After talking to him about it, it's I don't maybe we could hang some curtains over here. Maybe
They should have hang some sound treatment over the ceiling so it doesn't rings like a bell.
Yeah, I don't think they're used to having a whole bunch of loud stuff in here.
Yeah.
Last thing I heard about was in here was a crafting show.
Yeah,
so
might be more like it.
Yeah. But anyway, so you kind of mentioned architecture in some of your inspiration from
Obstructure.
Yeah, Obstructure.
Yeah. Well, they did the guitar, and my first guitar that I built was highly influenced by them, which is the MG6. I was really influenced by that, and after that I designed a few of the models, and I tried to go the same way, trying to keep the same lines, the same direction about the design, the general design idea. So after that, I designed a single cut, an offset, the base, and so I try to always keep the big pick guard in the middle, and like the headstock and the neck construction, which is inspired by Travis Bean, and also from Obstructure, because Obstructure was also influenced by Travis Bean. So, so yeah, and after that, I studied in graphic design, art, and one of my first roommates in Canada when I moved from Paris to Canada was an industrial designer. So I was really influenced by him and his vision of object in general, because he's an industrial designer.
Was he, as far as you can tell, was he more of a function first type of person?
Yeah. Well, when I studied in art, I was really attracted to Bauhaus, and so that really made that always stayed in my head for quite a while. And when I started the cabinet making school and started designing furniture and guitars, I was really attracted to that part of the design. So function first, and
make it look good, kind of around that.
Yeah, it has. Well, my vision is that when I design a guitar, it has to look like a guitar, but it has to stay simple and not look fancy. You know, it can look a bit fancy, like have a few fancy details, but it has to stay simple. I don't like flame. I don't like pining all over or crazy inlays, or I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I like vintage guitars that has like that, but I don't see my work going that way, you know.
Right. Yeah, I really like one of the things, and it's so simple that it seems dumb. That not dumb, but like why didn't I think of that, or why haven't I seen that more often? Is your fret markers. I love your fret markers.
Well, you see them often made another way, and they're usually thicker.
Yeah.
I think Paul Roney made.
Yeah, he does kind of the thumbnail on the little stinker.
I think he did some lines at some point. I'm not sure, but I saw a few guitars like that. But my a lot of the details that I have are made because I'm trying to simplify the making process.
Right.
So those lines are really the easiest way I could make an inlay or line into a neck. It's when I make the fretboard, I use the same blade on the table saw, and I just angle the fretboard and boom, I have a line. But a line that doesn't cross all the way over.
Right, but it looks fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, well, it came from my logo too, which is kind of 1 centimeter.
Yeah.
Flip over, and so when you have the frets and the fret markers, it kind of you see the you can see about a bit of the centimeter.
I think I know what you're going with there.
Yeah,
that's really cool. You talked about the neck pocket a little bit. We've discussed it kind of on various online parts. I remember you said you spent a long time kind of getting that right. It just is visually striking when you turn it over and see how the neck's mounted. It looks, I don't know, I love looking at it for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's influenced by Travis Bean, but it's made a different way, and by making it into wood, I can integrate neck angles into the neck. So, and it really frees me to, it makes me free to design every shape I want, because I don't need a neck pocket in the body. So the neck joint can really be anything, because the neck is one piece going into the body, in half, like half of the body. So
right.
It's kind of hard to explain when you don't see the
same.
It's
it is a little bit challenging.
So yeah, that neck joint is really practical for that.
Yeah. Well, it also helps that it looks great. I don't know. Like I said, I look at the back and I'm like, man, that looks cool. And for those who are listening, you should really go look at the pictures. But it's like this massive portion of the back of the guitar in a good way, and it looks really cool. And I look at it and I think that guitar probably has a lot of sustain. You know?
Yeah, and it's a bit different than aluminum construction. So you will get a bit less sustain than aluminum, but it's still a lot more sustaining.
There's a can rolling towards us. I don't know if it's trying to attack us or not, but it's rolling this way.
Alright, that's okay.
Anyway,
but yeah, so you get also a guitar that is a lot stiffer than usual Fender style guitars or any other neck joint.
right.
So that neck joint has some really good things to it. It's the only problem is that it's really hard to make and it takes way more wood. So, but I think it's a good problem. It's not. I've been working with it since 6 years now, so I'm pretty happy with the way it works.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's a good fiction.
So you've been making guitars for 6 years or longer?
6 years.
6 years.
I studied furniture building before, which was I built my first guitar the last year of my apprenticeship at the school. So it's been 9 years since I started working with wood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, we've been trying to keep these short and sweet. I definitely want to have you back on for a more traditional, longer
Anytime.
form at some point. But I'm not gonna let you leave until I find out what kind of pizza you like.
Didn't see that coming. Pizza. Well, it has to be something. Well, I kind of like the pizza that we do with my wife. We take like some naan bread, and we just put some pizza sauce on it and some ham. Mostly what we have laying around.
Right.
The
Whatever
house.
meats are just there.
Yeah,
Just put it on there.
and we just because that's the way to do something fast and quick to eat. So I kind of like our pizzas.
I like it.
It's homemade and that's the
I dig it.
But I went to Vancouver for the Vancouver Guitar Show in last June, and I think there was a pizza called Pizzeria Farini, I think. And it was so freaking good. Like, the crust was thin, but they had like some kind of oil on it, and it was so good.
Nice.
So yeah, both of those would be my choice.
All right. That'll work. All right, man. Well, good talking to you. We'll talk to you more in depth later. These have been kind of rapid fire. Hopefully I can get a few more in. I got people showing up to the show, so I don't know. This has been a really weird day for me. But look forward to talking to you more. And,
sure. See you next time.
Thank you. That's going to do it for this week, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. In fact, there'd be absolutely no reason to do this if you guys didn't tune in and listen. So I really appreciate that. It's been a little while since I asked for this, but if you wouldn't mind, if you could take just a couple minutes and sneak over to iTunes and leave a few reviews, that definitely helps things out across the board. So if you like the show, please sneak on over there and leave a review. That would help immensely. I really appreciate it. So thanks for listening, guys. I'll talk at you next time. And you know the drill by this point. Good luck and good tones. One last thing before we totally sign off here. I just want to remind you that if you do any shopping at Stringjoy, that's Stringjoy guitar strings made in Nashville, that will help me out as well. As I've said for years, I'm heavily involved in that company, and I really do think they're making the best products on the market. So if you would like to try custom strings, go to tonemob.com/stringjoy and check them out today. I seriously love what the team down there is doing. I help them out with all kinds of things, and by you supporting them, you are also supporting me as well. And hey, you need some strings, so why not get some custom strings just for your guitar and playing style? Again, the link for that is tonemob.com/stringjoy, and that will take you right to their website, and you can do all your shopping through there, and that will help everyone involved out. So thank you very much. Talk to you next time. We are brought to you by the wonderful folks at Gun Street Wiring Shop. Yes, Gun Street Wiring Shop. I've talked about them before. I used to say based out of Bend, Oregon, but guess what? Sean moved to my neck of the woods. Sean's in Portland. Sean is awesome and has helped me with a bunch of stuff lately. And if you have wiring needs for your guitar, he can help you too. If you want to get weird with it, he can get weird. If you just need to spruce things up a little bit, there's your guy. He takes all the guesswork out of doing your guitar wiring, and he makes it simple, and his customer service is top-notch, and I can't say enough good things about Gun Street as a company. I really respect Sean and what he's all about, and the product is top-notch. I've got 3 different guitars that now have Gun Street harnesses in them, and I could not be happier. So go to gunstreetwiringshop.com and check them out.